very genuine racehorse. He's dropping back to 1,200 metres here, but it's just too hard to dismiss him in whatever he races in. He's there with a chance.
Number 4 Sword, Mick Dippman, the rider for Jack Denham. This horse ran second behind Brawny Spirit, I think, in the Salinger last year down the straight. And his win at Caulfield, where he dead heated with Sequalo, was very good, and then he finished 5th behind Spartacus in the Moya.
Well, he's been going very well in similar company to what he faces here today. The 1,200 metres is likely to suit him. My only concern with him is that he's had 4 goes down the straight here at Flemington, and all of those runs have been a little bit on the average side, so it's a little concern for him, maybe a place chance.
What about the defending champ, trained by Lance Smith at Caulfield, number 5? You remember last year's winner?
Well, he's a very smart sprinter on his day, but Pete, his best form is generally when there's a sting out of the track, so he hasn't got that here today. Only a place chance for him.
I like the run of Rye Hero at Moonee Valley, Jen. He got a mile out of his ground in the Moya, and he was flying home. Probably should have won the race. Stephen King, the rider, and John Maher, the trainer, he was very disappointed at getting beaten that day. Obviously, he thought the horse would win.
Well, that's over 1,000. Of course, today's race is over the 1,200 metres. He will get back in this race, but I would expect him to be running on towards the end. I just think it looks a little bit harder.
Saker chased home Gold Ace in track record time here on Saturday in the Salinger. Darren Gauci, the rider for Johnny Hawkes.
I'm giving him a very good chance, a very good chance in this race, I should say. She's been racing very well. It was a good effort at Flemington on Saturday, and if she can reproduce that type of run, she'll be there at the finish.
Now, I know you give Brackenbank a bit of a chance here, number 11, with Damien Oliver riding and Peter Hayes, the trainer.
Yes, well, her fresh record is very good. She won first up last time in, and she's drawn the barrier 13. Well, you'd expect most of them are going to go over to the inside. That has been the pattern for today. Good jockey on board, Damien Oliver, and I just think you have to respect her chances. Her acid test today, but she's a good filly.
Armadale's already won a race over the Carnival, number 13. That was on Saturday here. Trained by Graham Rogerson, ridden by Darren Beedman, has drawn gate 14. Now, whether that proves to be a disadvantage or not, I don't really know. You would think it probably might be a little bit, whereas when you came to the races today, Jen, you would have thought it was some sort of advantage.
Well, yeah, well, I particularly did, and I've still left him there with a chance, Pete, because you remember his win on Saturday. It was most impressive, and he drops down in weight. He had 55.5 kilos there. Sure, this is a bit tougher, but you've got Darren Beedman on board with that weight. The way he's been racing, he's got to be left there with a good chance.
And what about the Moya winner, Spartacus, number 14, finished 3rd behind Armadale on Saturday?
Well, you remember, Johnny, that's telling us about this horse, how the bit went through his mouth. Yeah. So a little bit of a problem for him on that occasion. Here's another one with a nice lightweight, 51.5 kilos here. He's an honest performer, and he's there with a chance.
Armadale for you, Jen. Lucky number 13?
Yes, and I put in the man number 9, Seeker, for second, and number 11, Brackenbank, for third.
And I've gone for Poetic King, number 2. Wide open betting race. I reckon they might have backed a few in this. Tim Gossage is down in the betting ring to tell us all about it. Tim?
Peter, they have backed one, and it's the most unlikely one too. It's number 12, Regal Centre, was very big double-figure odds. It is now into single figures, a big result for punters. Regal Centre, of course, raced in, ran second at its last start. Poetic King is the outright favourite, and there's a lot of sentimental money for Mahogany first up. But Regal Centre, the big go in the ring.
Regal Centre currently, thank you, Tim, showing $17 on the tote as they go to the stalls. The Network 10 Linlithgow Stakes will be back on this glorious Thursday afternoon here at Flemington after this break. That's Malcolm Pay taking You Remember up to the start for the Network 10 Linlithgow Stakes. The young and the not so young here today, and everyone's having a good time in the sunshine. 1,200 metres the journey of this race, a track that You Remember knows very well because he won this race last year. And, well, we saw earlier that a lot of them came down the inside. In fact, in one of the races, they all came down the inside. Now, we've got a field here of 13, and one would think that the same thing might apply. And there is the map of the straight track, 1,200 metres, which Gold Ace came down on Saturday faster than any other horse had ever done before him, 1:7.5. That was the new track record. Tote punters made Poetic King the favourite in the early stages. Let's check out what they've done in the last 20 minutes or so. The gate's being closed up in front. Here's Dan Malecki.
A great range of prices. The outsider of the field is only at $25, so it shows you how much depth and quality it has in this Linlithgow. $3.90 Poetic King and $1.70 for the place is the popular pick. There's only 3 horses under double figures. The others are Mahogany number 1 and number 8 Rye Hero is just under the double figures at the $9.30 mark. That's horse number 8. We've got Seeker. Ruffles is the outsider at $25 only. and Brackenbank, Regal Centre, Armadale and Spartacus. Terrific field. Any horse could win this race and it would not be a surprise.
Roy Higgins is joining me now, and shortly we'll get an update from Tim Gossage. But first of all, Roy, Dan was just mentioning what an open race it is, and I'm sure you found it hard to separate them on appearance. They all look terrific.
They really did. It's one of those races. I went looking for ones that couldn't win.
Yeah.
And I never found any. So really, you know, we've got a field of 13, and there's a case for every horse in this race that's got a chance. I settled on 2 Poetic King. He's a terrific horse, this guy. He's very honest, but I don't think he's got much on this pack, so I think luck is going to play a big part. A horse that really took my eye was number 8, Rye Hero. An enormous run first up. He has drawn 3, Stephen King on board. You're going to get a good ride from him. Of the others, down near the bottom weights, the light weights here, in 13 Armadale and 14 Spartacus. Both look excellent. So overall, I think it's take your pick, but I went 2, 8, 13 and 14.
Thank you to Roy Higgins. Let's go down to the betting ring for a last-minute update. And Tim Gossage, what can you tell us?
Peter, the biggest go of the carnival, no doubt, for Regal Centre. It's halved its quote. It's now 2 points under double figures. You're still getting good value on the tote. Regal Centre, a bad result for bookies.
OK, well, you've got a chance to get on if you want to follow the money. Regal Centre, the big tip. And Brian York is the rider here. He's drawn gate 6, and he'll carry the blue with the white cross and cap. So keep an eye out for him. Field of 13, Madison Point comes out, and they're getting set quickly. Dan and Gary.
Terrific field, Gary.
Yeah, definitely. And, like the big weight drops at 12, he drops 7 kilos. Armadale drops 4 kilos. Spartacus 6.5 from what they carried on Saturday.
Quality field of sprinters in the Linlithgow. And they've all been placed in the stalls. Light is on. Gates crash back and they're off and racing now. And a couple of them are going to go spearing straight to the outside rail. Armadale and Brackenbank. The bulk of the field will come down the flat side. Ruffles and Spartacus are showing good speed here. They're going to settle in front of Ravada. Seeker up there, followed by Sequalo. Just in behind those, Regal Centre, Sword further out with Poetic King, and Mahogany's probably last on the inside of You Remember as they run up towards the 800 metres point. Down the grandstand side, Armadale in front of Brackenbank. They've got about 700 metres left to travel. Spartacus is the leader from Seeker in second spot. Over on the inside, Ruffles, and then came Sequalo, Ravada, then Regal Centre, Mahogany further back, then to Sword, Poetic King, You Remember, and Rye Hero down the grandstand side. Armadale a length and a half in front of Brackenbank. They're inside the 400. A host of chances. Mahogany looking for a run. He's moved into the race. Wider out on the track, Poetic King. Regal Centre was there as well, and then Spartacus. Mahogany hit the lead. Poetic King is coming at him. Mahogany in front. The Lee Friedman trained pair have it between them. It's Mahogany a length in front. Poetic King wearing him down now. Mahogany and Poetic King. Mahogany! What a training performance. Mahogany has beaten Poetic King. 3 away Ruffles in front of Rye Hero for third, and then Spartacus. Followed home by You Remember, then Regal Centre, next home Seeker from Sword, Ravada, and then Sequalo, and those down the grandstand side, Brackenbank and Armadale.
What a great effort, Dan. Like, he's brought this horse back. He went up to Rose Hill. I don't know what happened to him that day, because it's unlike him. He ran 10th of 10th that day, so something must have happened to him, but Lee Friedman's brought him back down here, and he's delivered the goods. Poetic King looked like he was going to pick him up, but couldn't quite get him.
Lee Friedman, Quinella and Mahogany, former horse of the year, seems to be the forgotten horse, and he's won the Linlithgow. That's a super training performance. I know he's done it so often, Lee Friedman with Mahogany, but it's just amazing the way he can do it in this sort of quality sprint field. And his horses have run 1-2. Poetic King, Never Say Die attitude, and I thought Ruffles was a terrific run. She battled on very strongly for third. She actually come again because she was clearly headed at about the 300.
Very good. You see Greg Hall again. He's having a great carnival, Greg. I thought here Simon Marshall, hands and heels on Poetic King, was going to pick him up, but bang, he just didn't quite get there. One more hop he would have, but they don't pay out on that. They pay out on who's first across the line.
Well, a great training performance, not just with Mahogany Pete, but to get the Quinella as well. He's had a super season, hasn't he, Lee Friedman, with his sprinters?
He has had a super season with his sprinters, and particular satisfaction, I think, from that win.
This is one of my most satisfying wins in the last couple of years. I mean, to get him back and win at this level is just superb.
He's had his knockers, this horse, hasn't he?
No, he's a great sprinter. You keep him fresh, he's a great sprinter, you know. And I was always confident in the run, you know, that he'd win.
What happened on that trip up to Sydney?
I don't know. He's probably a bit tired or something. I don't know.
We all get tired, don't we?
He looked the best he ever had today.
And he was trotting at the 300, and it was just a matter of whether Plugger could get to him.
Well, that's right. Where's he run second?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I got the Quinella.
Oh, he didn't even know. Right. I suppose you were keeping a close eye on Mahogany because you do have great affection for this horse, don't you?
I love him. I love him. He's been a great horse to me. And, you know, he's had his knockers, but I think if you keep him fresh now, he's old. He's a great horse.
What now for him, Lee?
He'll probably have a spell again.
Well done.
Thank you.
Lee Freedman, who really did get a lot of satisfaction. You could tell by the look on his face. And everyone associated with the Freedman camp really smiling quite broadly down here with Mahogany, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd Williams and Mr. and Mrs. Kerry Packer, Lee Freedman, the trainer, Poetic King, Gallant in defeat second, Hands and Heels by Simon Marshall. He was getting the best from the horse that way. And here's Johnny Letts now with Greg Hall, who I'm sure also got plenty of satisfaction out of the win.
Johnny, and he's a super horse first up, you know.
Yeah, 2 months.
It's just great to see him back winning, mate.
2 months since his race, mate. Good on you. He's a good horse, please.
All right, well, I think we might have had a false start there. But Greg Hall, you can see how delighted he is here. And there's something about this horse that the connections love. As I say, he has had his critics, his knockers over the years. But Jennifer mentioned that he has fantastic, fresh form. And you can hear the crowd giving him a wonderful ovation here. I'm sure they will when he comes back into the mounting yard. Poetic King, as we said, Gallant in defeat second. And third placing in the race went to number 10, and that was Ruffles. But the Lee Freedman, Quinella, and Greg Hall has always had so much time for this horse, and he'll really appreciate this victory. Henry Plumtree out there, leading the horse back in. Former Horse of the Year, Mahogany, hasn't started since the 21st of September. In fact, he's only had 3 runs this year. 1 in February, 1 in March, 1 in September. And look at the delight on the face of Greg Hall. This really is a special win to him. The Network 10 Linlithgow Stakes, one of the highlights of Oaks Day. As you can hear, I think Greg's brought his own cheer squad. And there he is after race 7. He's about to go and get on the scales for 2 reasons. 1, to make the correct weight, and 2, to get away from this racket. We'll do that too, and we'll come back on the other side of this break.
Good afternoon.
MP 57.5.
Welcome back to Flemington on Oaks Day for 1996. We're after correct weight.
Numbers are being confirmed. 1,
Des Gleeson.
2, 10, 8, 14.
Just 2 of the numbers confirmed. Correct weight. Weight's confirmed. So there is correct weight. And there's another shot outside of a crowd which is refusing to go home, as you would on a beautiful day like this. With correct weight, here are dividends. Danny.
Tim Mahogany, $8.50 and $3.30. Poetic King, $1.80. Ruffles, $7.70. She was the outsider of the field. Quinella, $15.50. The exacta returns $28.60. The trifecta, $882.30. The running double on a pair of ones, $12.20. The daily double on 10 and 1, $1,039.30. And the quaddie, 8, 10, double 1, $6,832.50. Ahead the winning margin, 3 lengths between second and third. Fourth, number 8, Rye Hero. Fifth, number 14, Spartacus. And they ran 1:9.2, Tim.
Thank you, Danny. Housekeeping done. Another shot from the airship, which our director just absolutely loves, I can tell. Well, you would, wouldn't you? It's a beautiful shot. Presentations are ready. There's Rob. Take it away.
One of the most popular wins here over this particular carnival. Mahogany winning, of course, the Network 10 Linlithgow Stakes. Mr. Andrew Ramsden representing the VRC. But to begin our presentations, General Manager of Network 10, Mr. Robert Osmotherley.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be here today on behalf of Network 10 to sponsor such a great classic race as the Linlithgow Stakes, to be won by such a great horse, Mahogany. And without any further ado, it gives me great pleasure to present the trophy to Susie Williams.
Thank you, Robert Osmotherley. Yes, he absolutely loves coming to the races. Look at the champ, eh? Look at the champ. You never ever, whether they're on 2 legs or 4 legs, write off champions. Peter Donegan said he's had his knockers, and when you knock champions, they have this uncanny, unnerving habit of coming back and proving you absolutely wrong. Mahogany, we'll take a break and come back with so much more after this. The closing stages of Oaks Day for this year, and what a wonderful day it's been. Beautiful weather, the ladies looking fabulous, the horses looking exceptional as they always do. And I tell you what, it's been a pretty good day for these two fellas sitting beside me, Glenn Boss and Len Smith, jockey and trainer respectively, and my bright here. Well done.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah. Now, you said last night you were confident.
Well, I wasn't super confident, but you know, she should have won at the Valley the start before last, and her last start she nearly fell in the run. And she got beaten 13 lengths, but, you know, last night I sort of had a little bit of confidence that she'd run a strong 2,500 metres.
Well, you probably haven't seen the race yet, and we can have a look at it as we're discussing it. And a terrific finish. Terrific finish.
Yeah, she travelled...
Just got up on the rail on that.
Yeah, she just travelled sweetly for me throughout, and I sort of grew more and more confident as the race sort of we come more and more into the race. But
what about you, Len? These are the sort of days you train them for, aren't they?
They are the sort of days, yes, and it's wonderful when they sort of come to do it.
Well, here's the finish, and you'll love it when you see it, because it's a real bobbing finish, and there's 4 of you in it. And she just gets up for you on the rail. Great ride.
Yeah, that's what racing's all about, isn't it? You know, close finishes like that. But I've got to thank Mr. Smith here for entrusting me, because I said to him after the last start, take the blinkers, and she had a Norton bit on, and take both them off, and you know, I'm glad that he sort of trusted me with my judgment.
And there's our lovely shot that we're very fond of from the light ship, which gives you a tremendous perspective, doesn't it? It's that's a great way to see them come down to the line.
Yeah, it is great. It's actually the first time I've seen it. It's the only time I've been up near the front of the field to see myself. So.
Now, Peter Donegan, I know you're probably listening to this, and I'm sure there's a couple of things you'd like to ask Glenn.
Yes, there are. Greg Hall's just come over, so we'll be chatting to him in a sec, Tim. But first of all, to Glenn, congratulations. I thought it was a really patient ride. And Glenn, must be hard, because they all started getting itchy fingers about the 800, not to take off and just to be patient then.
Yeah, well, you know, I give her a dig in the ribs about the mile at the pole, and because she just travelled off the bit, and you start to get a bit worried when they're travelling so kindly. But when I give her a dig in the ribs, I knew I had something there, so I just thought I'd ride her as quietly as possible and ride her for luck.
All right, good on you. There's another shot of it. It was a terrific finish, and that's the sort of racing we like to see. Glenn and Len, thanks for coming up to see me, and we've got little presents for everybody today. How's the weight?
Not a problem.
Not a problem?
No problem.
No, you're looking pretty slim and trim,
yeah,
so have some Rosie's Chockies from Cadbury. You too, Len.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations. Must be very exciting, very thrilling.
It's wonderful.
Can I just say thanks to my lovely fiancée?
You certainly can.
Hope she's watching, and I dedicate that one to you, Dale.
You better name, huh?
Sloane Gavin. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Good on you both.
Thanks.
BD, you've got G Hall with you.
Yes, very excited, G Hall. I've got here, Tim. There's a lot of emotion after that race. That win obviously meant a lot.
Yeah, it did, Pete. I mean, you know, he's been a great horse to me and to Lee, and Lee got very emotional then. That's the first time I've seen it, actually.
Did he wipe a bit of a tear away then?
Yeah, he started producing them on me, so I've had to run away from him. But yeah, he got very, very emotional. But the thing was, it's just to see that horse come back and win, you know, everybody sort of basically wiped him, you know, and I can understand that too. It had been a long time since he won, and I was away for a year, and to come back and win on him, that was the Mahogany of old, you know, where he loves going through, and he had that killer in him and took that needle eye opening. There was no room at all there, but he just wanted to win today, you know, and that was the real Mahogany, mate. And to win at his home track in his hometown's fantastic, you know.
Look at him here, and you're getting everything out of him. Simon's hands and heels, but he just keeps finding, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, I mean, the worry was with him, Pete. The run I took, I had to take it because it was the only opportunity I had, but realistically, I probably wanted it later, you know, where he can get him to the front as late as possible, and it would have been a much easier win, you know.
Have a look at this shot. This is from the Whitman's Lightship, and you've probably seen it a couple of times, but of course when you're busy you don't have a look at it. But that's a fantastic view from up above, and that's you on the rail over on the left-hand side there, just holding on.
Yeah, it's a great shot, Pete, but like I say, I mean, he put 2 lengths on him, which is not the time. I mean, the Mahogany is the great horse of getting home and killing everyone else, but that's the way it worked out. So bloody great he won, mate.
We wanted to have a talk to you because there was so much emotion. Well done.
Good on you, Pete. Thanks,
Greg
mate.
Hall, the winning rider with Mahogany. And what about that, Tim? A bit of a tear in the eye of Lee Freedman. You don't see that too often.
Well, Pete, I don't blame him. I was just saying earlier, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, you know, champions get knocked so often, and it's just so lovely to see a great horse, and he's certainly been a great horse, come back and win another one on Oaks Day during the week, and I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yes, and you said it all before, never write off a champion because they'll prove you wrong every time.
Yeah, Googie on the face, no doubt about it. Now, Linny Talbot is out and about, and I think she's got, I hope he doesn't mind me calling him, a little bit of a veteran actor in Ian Rawlings from Neighbours. Hello, mate.
Hello, Jimmy. How are you?
Good, mate. I said a little bit.
Oh, no, mate. Veteran is very, very wise.
Well, can I just say I've got a very friendly neighbour down here at the nursery car park, and he's doing very well. We should have cottoned on to this man earlier because you've had a few winners.
I've backed a couple of trifectas. I've done quite nicely out of those, but I could always do better. There's always room for improvement on a racetrack.
Now, you have to tell us what's happening in Neighbours at the moment. What's your character up to?
Philip's going through a bit of a stage where he's being a very awkward handyman. He's trying to do a few things on his own house, and it's not working out too well.
Well, at least this is for you today. And have you got a winner for us in the 8th?
I kind of thought that Go Rami would go quite well, so...
Oh, well,
do what you will with that.
We shall find out soon.
Indeed.
Thank you, Lenny. You can always tell somebody who knows what they're doing because they're carrying binoculars. They need to have a close look. Thanks, Rollo.
Pleasure.
Ian Rawlings joining Lynn Talbot. We'll take a break. We've got one race to go on Oaks Day for this year. With the Get Out Stakes to go, the Country Cup, this is Oaks Day on Network 10, right around the country, and we hope you're thoroughly enjoying it. We hope you're able to relay a little bit of the excitement of the day because the whole week's been just terrific so far, and we hope you're enjoying it. Now, I've given up asking my producer who Tim Bailey's got with him because Bailey never usually knows, so why would the producer? Anyway, here he is.
You'll like this one, Timmy.
Yeah?
Eastern Suburbs Rugby League skipper Sean Garlick. Now, you've put your head in a few scrums, Sean, but it's harder in the bookies league, isn't it?
It's so hard here, Tim. The hardest thing is not being able to concentrate. There's just too many distractions out here.
Is the focus on the fillies or on the fashion?
Well, it's definitely a split field here, and that's what makes it so difficult. You can't concentrate on one thing.
And I've got to say, the girls behind us here are from the Austin Hospital Emergency Department, girls. And Tim, this is an emergency. Back to you.
Timmy Bailey, why doesn't it surprise me that Sean Garlick's surrounded by women?
Yeah, I'm running off him and doing a good job. See ya.
Thank you, thank you, Timothy. Okay, competition winners. Well done to both of you. Have we got time to put you on the screen, or am I just doing it here? Marlene Wilson from Kings Park in New South Wales, there they are. And Diana Taurua, I guess that would be, from Murrumbina in Victoria. You've both won $1,000 worth of clothes from Suzanne's. And the answer was, of course, to the question, Oaks Day. It was very simple this year. All you needed to do was answer the question, ring the number, and $1,000 worth of clothes on their way to you. We will be in touch with you. All right, the lucky last, Peter Donegan. We've just written all the numbers on pieces of paper here and thrown them up in the studio and see what hit the floor first.
Good away as any, I think, with this, Tim. It is a raffle. Anything could really win this. Incidentally, we've got the official crowd figure, Tim, and no surprise, it's a record 67,086 people. That is enormous on a working day in Melbourne.
Lynn Talbot owes Gary Willits a lot of money.
Yes, she does, and I'm sure that Gary will be out to collect it in the Channel 10 marquee after the running of the last race. But what about that 67,000 plus on a working day? Not bad.
Is it a working day?
Well, it is for some.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's just a fabulous crowd. Great atmosphere out here on Oaks Day. It's wonderful.
OK, now this is the last, the Red Rooster Country Cup, Jen, and the scratchings from the final event, numbers 12, 19 and 21. So we've got a big field of 18, and let's lead off with Shan Oak, who won a similar class race at Caulfield at its last appearance.
Well, he's unbeaten this time back in, Pete. He's won his last 4 races. I think he's probably left there with a chance once again. It's hard to knock winning form, no doubt about this. An extremely tough race here with 57 kilos, barrier 15. That's probably a little concern. He's going to have to need some luck, but winning form is good.
Gee, look at him. You wouldn't be betting against him on appearances. He looks magnificent. Number 4 is Go Rami. Rodney Griffiths, the rider here for Robbie Griffiths. And this horse, amongst others, is owned by a fellow called John Rothfield, who is better known as Dr. Turf, one of the breakfast hosts with Kevin Bartlett on Sport 927, and probably better known as an urger.
Well, he came over here before and said, can we win this? Well, I think Go Rami is in there with a definite chance in the race. Forget his last run altogether. Something must have gone wrong with him. He doesn't normally race that bad. So forgive him for that run. He can go better here, and here's a chance.
Number 5, Parketry, Stephen King, the rider, drawn awkwardly in gate 17, trained by Jubin Houlihan at Rosebud. But the recent performances, Jen, have been shockers, really.
They have been, Pete, but he's very much a dry tracker, and I think you've got to leave him there. His last start was in the Moonee Valley Cup, a lot tougher than what he strikes here today. He was on the inside, that was the worst going, and he can improve, an each-way chance.
Well, the man who was excited before, Greg Hall, takes the ride on number 6, Phantom Eagle here. And what did you make of his recent form?
Well, he ran on Saturday at Traralgon, and he's backing up from that. Ran 8th there, beaten 5 lengths. Greg Tarible, he's certainly going to help him. He did carry 60 kilos, so a bit of a weight drop for him here, 56.5. He's there with some chance.
The Wodonga Train 7, Rebel Action, racing in blinkers. Patrick Payne, the rider, last start second at Echuca behind Num Singh, which has got some ability.
Yes, and I think this horse will be suited by the 1,600 metres and the dry track here. He's going to also need some luck from barrier 13, but should figure in the finish if he gets that luck.
10, Sovereign Lira, and this grey finished second behind Abramagic's 3 runs ago. That was probably his best run for some time, but he was 100 to 1 that day, but he will have supporters because Darren Beedman's riding him.
That's for sure, and it's an ideal distance for Sovereign Lira. The only thing is this horse can show some pace, but barrier 19 just might have to use up a little bit too much petrol early, but the fact that you've got Darren Beedman on board, he will help. I've left him there with a place chance.
Stablemate of Rebel Action is number 15, Astrodane, originally from Ireland, to be ridden by Vlad Durick.
I've given him her an each-way chance. Last start, it wasn't a bad effort when she ran on at Moonee Valley, and the start before that didn't have a great deal of luck there. I thought it was a good, honest effort. I think she comes into it quite well with 54 kilos.
And one of the other chances, Jennifer, number 16 in Dancing Bow. Brad Rawilla is the rider here.
Never really got a crack at them at Benalla until it was too late, and carried 60 kilos on that occasion. Next start at Geelong carried 57 and did make up some ground at Geelong. I think Dancing Bow definitely has a good each-way chance in the race, and he's my pick.
OK, we'll sum up your selections and then we'll have a look at the selections from the other experts as well after we take a look at the map here, which is the 1,600 metres and over by the river, but a big field here and the wide barriers are a definite disadvantage.
Sure are. I'm going for number 16, Dancing Bow, to win from number 15, Astrodane, and number 5, Parketry.
Well, I've gone for Shan Oak on the strength of that win at Caulfield. As Jen said, he's got a bit against him, but he's racing in great heart at the moment. Jet Express for Johnny Lex and Dancing Bow for Richard Freedman, as well as Jenny Chapman. Last event here at Flemington in front of 67,000 people plus on Crown Oaks Day is the Red Rooster Country Cup. Runners are about to go to the stalls. We'll take a break and rejoin you for the Get Out Stakes very shortly.